So welcome, and this is the last in our series of classroom essentials. And today we're talking about peer-related social skills. If you have any questions and you'd like me to send you resources on any topics, please reach out to me at connecticutpyramid@gmail.com.
Okay.
So just our agreements for our time together. Please mute if you're not speaking, but if you'd like to speak, engage. And as always, we are going to assume positive intent. Anything we share, I'm going to show you quite a few videos today. So we always assume that the teachers are doing the best they can. You might see things that you would do differently, which is great. And we can talk about different strategies that we're going to try. And I just ask, as we're watching all of these videos, think about how you can use what you're seeing in a classroom, either if you're a teacher or a coach. How could you take what you're seeing, jot down notes, whatever works for you? Can we think of any other agreements that we want for today? Okay, so let's get started. This is one of the key social emotional skills taken from the Connecticut ELDS. So developing trusting and healthy attachments and relationships with primary caregivers is the most important. But we're also, if you skip to the bottom, we're talking about all the social relationships for children, and those peer relationships, those friendships are so important. So that's one of the key skills from the ELDS, along with developing self-regulation, expressing, recognizing, and responding to emotions, and developing self-awareness, self-concept, and competence. So we have been looking at the pyramid, talking about those nurturing and responsive relationships as the base. And we know that those relationships include the adults to the children, the adults to each other, the children to each other, all of the people in the building, the families, everyone involved with those children is part of those nurturing and responsive relationships. And then we looked at some high quality supportive environment concepts in our other meetings together. Today, we're really looking at the green second tier, which is targeted social emotional supports. And when we're looking at these, there are some children who need some more help in these skills. Some children it comes more naturally to, but when we target these certain skills like friendship skills today, it is going to help all the children in the class. But we're going to definitely be intentional about certain children in our classrooms who do need more help with friendship skills. So we know if children don't have the skills, what are they going to do? Hit, scream, spit, bite. And so just like we help children learn how to ride a bike and we teach them the skills to do that, and just like we teach them to read and do math, we're going to teach them the actual skills they need to be able to make friends. So I start with just thinking about someone you consider to be a good friend. So just take a moment, think of who comes to mind when you think of someone who's a good friend to you. It might be someone you got to be friends with as a child, or someone you just got to be friends with recently. But what are some of the qualities you would use to describe that person? And you can put it in the chat or unmute.
My friend listens pretty well, so that for me is really helpful when they listen to me.
That's huge. And
Yes.
did listen without judging, maybe, right? What else can you think of that person? What are some characteristics?
I would say my friend, very kind-hearted, very thoughtful.
Yeah. So kind, thoughtful. If you think of other qualities for the friend you have in mind, or now think about some children in the classrooms you work with. Can you think of a child who you think seems like they make friends really easily and everybody seems to want to play with them? What would
Yep.
be some of the qualities of those children?
Outgoing.
Outgoing.
They're outgoing. They have let's see, they have great social skills. They can talk to anybody. They just talk to anyone, play with anyone, very engaging.
Yep. So the child that just comes into the class in the morning and they're ready to go and they walk around and greet everybody, greet the adults.
Yes.
I would also say that they're available to people. Like, so you said they come in the classroom kind of ready, but that means also that they are able to interact and exchange. They're not wanting to be kind of alone, and not that anything's wrong with being alone, but I'm saying they're available to other people and to interact and exchange, and they're interested to exchange, right? Information.
Yes. So they've actually done research on what skills children can have, what is characteristic of children with strong friendship skills. And one thing is that they give suggestions. They're play organizers. So if you think of that child that you just had in mind, are they good at saying, you be the mom and you be the dad and you be the doctor, you use this phone, and they give suggestions to kids? Have you seen that happen? And then they're good at sharing toys and other materials. So keep the children in mind that you had been thinking of. Are they good at sharing with others? Are they good at taking turns? Reciprocity. Are they helpful? You both mentioned the children are helpful. They will assist if someone's in need. Are they affectionate? Do they give compliments? So we all know children who come in and they go right up to the teachers and say, I like your sweater today, or they notice your hair. They'll be giving compliments to the adults. How about understanding how and when to give an apology? That's like an advanced social skill. Beginning to empathize. So depending on the age of the child, that again, that's a complex skill. You have to put yourself into another child's shoes. So that takes some work, and that's why it says beginning to empathize. Are there any others that you think you can think of that's not on this list?
I'm kind of surprised that gives compliments would be on this list. I would never think of that. Never would have thought of that.
No, they got very specific looking at qualities of children who have strong friendship skills. And that was one. And I remember learning that when I first learned this, and then I'd be in the classroom, it started really becoming evident that kids that were really good at making friends, they did give compliments to other children and to adults. So it'd be interesting now for you to listen when you're in classrooms and see if you're hearing compliments. Are there any others that you can think of? How about with adults? Now, when you're looking at this, can you think of the friend you had in your mind before? Are they good at these things? All of them or not? Yeah, I see you shaking your head, yes. So the thing about friendship skills is they last a lifetime. And it's one of the things that gives children the most success in life. If you can make friends when you're young, first of all, some of those friendships last a lifetime, but also those skills are really important through school, through life. And so it's so important for us to really think about the kids who are having trouble making friends. When a child, I was asking earlier when you were talking about some children who are having challenging behavior, often children with challenging behavior are avoided by other children, especially if they've gotten hurt by that child, if they've gotten bitten by that child. Maybe the first time it's okay, but after it's happened more than once, they don't want to be near that child because they're afraid they're going to get bitten again or hit again. So they'll avoid that child. So what happens to the child with challenging behavior? They don't have the skills, and then they don't have the opportunities to learn the skills because the other kids aren't wanting to play with them. So it kind of compounds. And every year, those kids have less and less children who will play with them, and they get more and more isolated. So they have less opportunities to play every single year and learn those social skills. So it just compounds as they get older. So the earlier we can help them, the better. Anything that else you can think of before I move on from that slide?
No, but it just makes me think, Lisa, how sad that is. I mean, I don't know why it didn't strike me that way, but I mean, now when you just said it like that, it makes me very sad for those kids because like you said, like you lash out, but then fewer kids want to play and then that cycle just continues.
Yeah, and we know as adults that those children who have a lot of challenging behavior, sometimes the adults don't really want to spend too much time with them either. So we think about at home too. Those kids might not be having times at home and, depending on their sibling relationships. So it does really compound. And that's why when you look at kids who really struggle later in life, you can go back to preschool and see that the patterns were starting there. So that's why it's so important to think about these friendship skills because it's going to make such a world of difference for these kids. Mm-hmm. So here's an example of two girls and how they're really helping. You can see that they have a strong friendship. And so hopefully you can hear, there's a little bit of subtitles. This is, one of the girls is really sad at drop off.
Amaya, are you sad? Why am I sad? Your mom will be back. Mom has to go to work, okay? Yes, she'll be back. You're right, Ava. Maybe we can read a book to Amaya. Amaya, would you like Tucker? Would you like to hold Tucker? Can Tucker? Yes. Can Tucker help you breathe? You want to calm down for a minute? It's okay to be sad. Mom will be right back. We're going to play and have lots of fun like yesterday, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. It's fun at school. Mm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, Ava brought in a truck so she can share with her friends. Did you hear that, Amaya? Yes. Ava, you are such an awesome friend. Thanks for sharing your truck. And thank you so much for sitting and talking to Amaya. I think she feels a little bit better. Amaya, are you feeling better? Yes? Yes? Okay. Are you ready to go wash your hands? Okay, let's go wash your hands. Ava can help you, okay? Put your tissue in the trash first. Thanks, Ava.
Okay. I love that so much. I've watched that so many times. But first of all, that was a family childcare home in Florida. And I think the provider was really good too at verbalizing the friendship skills that were going on. But if we look at this list again, do you see anything that the children did together, especially the one very verbal little girl? What did she do for Amaya? I think it was Ava.
She was empathizing with her.
Really, really advanced social skills, right? She was, saying, oh, okay, well, we have fun at home, but we have fun at school too. And,
Yeah.
and I brought a truck in and I'll share it. So yeah, she almost hit on all of these in that one
She
little
did.
clip. She gave suggestions. She talked about sharing her toys. She was helpful, right? She was affectionate. You could see her really looking at Amaya and feeling for her. So she was showing that beginning of, I think even more than beginning, to empathize. And she was really seeing the other child's feelings and being there for her. So that's a look at really good friendship skills and the adults supporting that and recognizing the friendship. Anything else that you saw in that clip that you wanted to talk about? So we know children need many opportunities to practice, and we can model, we can have children model. I'm going to show you some examples of these. Peer buddies, I have a great video showing that. Snack captains, you can assign one child a day or for the week to be the snack captain, and they have to say the child's name if they're giving the snack and look the child in the eye. We know from research that children need a lot of interactions with each other to be able to form those friendships. It's not just one or two. They really need many interactions every day. So the more we can do that. Friendship art, I'm going to show you a video of that. I have a lot of puppet demos that I can show you, and then games and doing activities with children that are designed to promote friendship skills. And I have a science and math activity to show you in a video. So this one is friendship art. I am going to actually mute just so I don't have background noise while I play the videos. And this one is, you'll see there are two children on the right and two children on the left who have one paper, and they're going to be doing a drawing together. So you can do this as a table activity or easel art. Some people do friendship art on, one side, and the other side you put two children, and they have to actually figure out what they're going to paint together. So here you're going to see these children trying to figure out, because they have two different ideas of what they want to draw.
You're gonna make a robot? Talk with Jeremy and see if he's okay with that plan.
Hey, Jeremy, what is a robot? When I say the one, I want
It sounds like you guys have a problem. Gideon wants to make a robot and Jeremy wants to make a cookie party. What do we do? Let's think like Peter.
Maybe we can do both.
What do you think about that?
And hang it on the wall for the cookie party.
Will you talk to Gideon about that?
Can we hang it on the wall? What are you doing?
But you guys were trying to decide whether to make a robot or a cookie party picture.
We can make both. Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we had a problem. We said you wanted to make the robot cookie party, and you wanted to make the robot, and we thought like Peter and said, why not work together and make both? We used the play together solution, and it worked.
Because that solution is on my kit.
It is on the kit. There it is. Play together. I think we need to celebrate. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hands up.
Listen up.
Hands up.
Listen up.
Jeremy and Gideon had a problem. Jeremy wanted to draw a cookie party on the picture, and Gideon wanted to draw a robot, and they thought like Peter. What did you guys do? What did you say?
We said we can make both.
They used the play together solution to decide to draw both. We need to give them a truck driver hooray. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Honk, honk. Good job, buddies. Great job solving that problem, friends. Those were super friend things to do. I've got a super friend sticker for you.
I'm making a snowman.
Great job working together to solve that problem. You made a snowman?
Okay, so they were using these solution cards, which I can show you at the end. They're all new ones with photos, and the kids can use that to actually work on their friendship skills. And they can be posted. You saw the children have them on little wristlets. So I'll show you how to find all those. So when we're thinking about the skills, like ask to take a turn or share, we're going to identify the skill or demonstrate or identify when we see it being used. So look at Sierra, she's asking to play with the sand toys, and then link the idea or concept to other skills the child already has. When you see your friends playing with the toy you want, you can watch them play, you can wait for a turn, or you can ask them for a turn. And we have visuals for all these different things. So even children who are not verbal can do these things with either a card. We also teach them, you know, things like tapping on the shoulder to get someone's attention. So there are lots of different ways we can teach these. So here's a teacher demonstrating sharing. And while you're watching, I'm just going to ask you to think about the strategy. How would you use the same strategy or change it? And do you think that children are engaged?
You look sad. Would you like some of my ice cream? Thank you. That would cheer me up. Yum.
What did Picky do with his ice cream?
Share.
He shared it. A kind friend shares, right? What are some things that you could share at school?
Toys.
Toys. What else?
My ear's not sticking in here.
Oh, that's okay. You can fix it. Maybe books. What else can we share? Can you think of anything? Balls. When we go outside, you can share the balls outside. A good friend shares toys. What else can we do to be a kind friend?
Balls. They're balls.
What about being helpful? How can we be helpful to our friends? A kind friend is helpful.
Not kick anybody. Not hit.
Well, yes, those are, we don't want to do that at school. We need to use gentle hands, right?
No pushing.
So maybe we could say a good friend is nice. Use nice hands, nice feet, nice words. What if a friend falls down?
Then you have to help them.
You help them. A good friend is helpful. I'm going to share my ice cream with Xander. And I'm going to, here, hold your ice cream cone up like that. I'm going to share my ice cream and put it into Xander's cone. And then Xander's going to pass it. And we're going to share with our friends. And what words do we say when we're sharing something?
Thank you.
So we're going to practice passing them. Sometimes they get a little stuck. So if it gets stuck, you just use your finger to kind of push it out so that it can land in your other friend's cone. Keep passing it.
Okay. So what was the teacher trying to accomplish with that activity? Do you think it was successful? How did the children react? And were all of the children involved? What did you notice about child engagement? What do you think are some ways you might implement those strategies in a classroom, either if you're working with other teachers or with certain children?
I kind of looked away for a minute, so I apologize. But yeah, I got a little distracted. But the thing that's important to me is that, she asked the question and the child says, oh, we're not going to hit or bite or whatever he said. And it's reminding me that I'm sure she has said this before, and she has that nice visual, right, of the ice cream, like kids like ice cream, and it's something that's attractive to them. But it makes me think they have to hear it like we all do, right, 10 or 15 times to kind of get the message so that they understand what she's asking for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, they were on target, but it's sort of like not exactly what she was saying at that time, but they're like, I'm not going to pick my friends or whatever they said,
Yeah. Yeah.
Important there.
I think you're right. And whenever I watch these videos, I think there's been a lot of groundwork already. You can tell in these classrooms, they've been talking about this, like in the clip we just saw, those kids had their solutions. They've already been working on the skills. They're doing friendship art. They're talking about friendship. They know what a super friend is. They have the honk honk for recognizing things. And in this case, you assume this teacher's talked a lot about friendship already, right? And got this idea about the ice cream cone and the balls. I think that child said 2 negative things, what not to do. And with the pyramid model, we want to always put it into positive language. So she didn't say, no, those are negative, but she said, yes, you're right. We don't want to do those, but what do we want to do? And words like, I think a lot of teachers just assume, and like I said at the beginning, we always know teachers are doing the best they can, but because we know what it means to be kind and respectful, we think kids know when we say, okay, remember, be kind. But what does that mean when you're 3 or 4? What does it mean to be respectful or responsible? Sometimes those are our words we have up. And so she was saying, yes, you're right. She brought it back to the child. We want to have kind hands and feet, I think she said, because that's like really concrete. Yeah, we don't want to hit or kick. So we want to have kind hands and feet. And then she put be kind up, and I think she was bringing it back to their classroom rules and expectations with that. But yeah, that was really interesting. You picked up on that because, yeah. What do you think about the actual activity? Would you want to try something like that in a classroom? Would you do it differently?
I think if you could model it or show another example, maybe, I mean, obviously that was circle time and that worked for them there, but I
Yeah.
think always modeling or finding it in context too. I mean, I'm sure they do that too, like it's in circle, but then you do it in actuality, or maybe show
Yeah.
someone showing something. It's another way
Yeah.
to kind of bring it home.
Yeah.
But I think, having conversations, matching it with the words and, where you can see the examples, because you need so many ways of hearing it and doing it, I think. But I
Yes.
mean, that may be
Yes.
another way to do it.
Yeah. When I watched that, I thought I would have more balls. And so that there were more balls, like maybe every 2 children got a ball and they could go back and forth maybe. So I don't like when a lot of kids have to sit and wait until it comes around. That was the only thing I would maybe do differently, but I like the way she had them really think about the friendship skills with sharing. Yeah, anyone else, please jump in anytime. So these are the main skills that we're going to teach, and they have these visuals now on the Challenging Behavior website. And I just put it in the chat, and I also put my email, challengingbehavior.org, and you can find these visuals. So getting a friend's attention, like I said, that often is where we see challenging behavior, because children don't know how to get the attention of other children or adults. So they either say, teacher, 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 over and over again, or instead of tapping lightly, they might really hit someone to get their attention, or they might scream because they're frustrated that they're not getting attention. If they don't have verbal skills, that's really hard, right? So we teach them some different ways to get attention. And we practice a lot with sharing and giving toys. So sharing, it's about giving a toy and then getting a toy, and it's reciprocal, right? And then requesting. Part of sharing is, I'd like to play with that. Can I share with you? Can I have that? And then those play organizers, when we talked about, we actually can start teaching kids, okay, what would be some ideas you might have for play? So they become the play organizer. We don't want it to always be that few children in the class that organize all the play. And then that giving compliments, we can actually teach kids how to say it by modeling and doing all of the other puppet shows and all of that. Nice sandcastle. Thanks. So those are those ones, bringing it back to what skills they need. So here's a puppet show.
We're here at United Preschool. We're learning about our solutions. We have a whole solution kit full of solutions. Let me see if I can find it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Inside this handy kit, there's lots of solutions that can help when we're at school. Yes. Yes. This is my friend Earl. Hi, everybody. Hello. And we wanted to demonstrate this solution right here. It's talking about sharing. Well, we sometimes don't remember what sharing means, so this is why we're doing a quick video for you. All right, I'm ready. I'm building with my blocks. I'm building with my blocks. Oh, that looks like fun. I want to build with blocks. I'm just going to take the whole set of blocks over here. Thanks for sharing. Now I have the blocks. Hold on, Sue! That's not sharing. Oh, I forgot to say it, didn't I? Let me try again. Okay, he's building with the blocks, but I want a turn. This time I'll try using my words like this. Can you share the blocks with me? Thanks. Sue, that's not sharing. What? You can't take them all. Oh, that's not how you share? No, Sue. But remember when I said I wanted to play blocks? But I still want to play too. Oh, well, Earl, then help me. What does it mean to share? Well, Sue, I have some blocks, but there's lots and lots and lots. How about I have some sharing? Great, just like in this picture. He had lots of dinosaurs, but he shared some with his friends. You have lots of blocks, but you'll share some, not all.
I don't have
with
to give you
me.
all of them. I'll share. We can both play.
Well, that's a great idea, thanks. You could even try some of these things at your house. You could learn to share when you have lots of things at your house.
That's for sure.
Thanks.
Sharing is caring.
Oh, I like that. Good one. Thanks, everybody. That's all for now. Bye.
Okay. I love that, but kids absolutely love those puppet shows. And if your teachers that you work with aren't using puppets, one thing 30 years ago, when I first started working full-time in a preschool, I had all these great puppets in the classroom, but the kids weren't using them. And I couldn't figure out why they weren't using them. And I went to my director and I said, I don't know why the kids aren't using the puppets. And she said, well, do you use the puppets? And I wasn't. And so she said, I think you should get a puppet you really love and bring it into the classroom and make a big deal out of it. And that's what I did. And the kids absolutely loved the puppets. I ended up every day, they wanted me to get the puppets out. You all know they talk to the puppets. They think the puppets are real. And I have worked with teachers over the years where I've shared these puppet videos and they put them on the screen for the kids and the kids love them. And the teachers have asked me for more of them because they love these two puppets are in all of them and they go through the solution card. So it again goes back to these solution cards, which are now much nicer with pictures with diversity. They used to be just those little drawings. So that positive descriptive feedback, so important. We're going to recognize when we see that appropriate behavior, we're going to say what we see and be enthusiastic. And it's always going to be contingent on effort. So Xavion, you asked Trey for a turn. You are being such a kind friend. You want to try to use those expectation words you already have in your classroom so they really understand. You saw in that puppet show, going back to what we were just talking about, very specific, concrete things about what it means to share. There are a lot of steps, right? You take some and I take some, and we're going to share by playing together, and you're not going to take all of them. And you can't just ask and pull them away. That's not sharing. So they go through all the things that aren't sharing and then talk about all the things that go into sharing. So we have to do this many, many times, like you just said, Monica. Cal, you noticed that Marisol was upset and got the friendship kit. Look, now she's smiling. So you're recognizing what children are doing to foster friendship. So this is a teacher recognizing friendship skills in a pre-K circle time.
Tegan had been such a good helper when Brianna walked in. She went and grabbed her center tie and said, here you go, Brianna. Right, wasn't that nice, Brianna? Did you tell her thank you? I didn't even tell Tegan, she grabbed it all on her own. So clap for Tegan. She also helped Monroe. Monroe walked in the room and she grabbed her center tie for her. And that was very nice. Clap for Tegan again. Good job, Tegan. You're being a super friend. I got lots of friends. Layla was helping a friend out. Tegan was helping her friend out. Let's see who else is going to help a friend out. If you see a friend that needs help and they can't put a dress on, or they can't put the blocks away because it's so heavy, you can go up to them or go up to her and say, can I help you, please? Do you need help? And if they say, no, I don't need help, or they say, no, thank you, it's okay. They just don't want any help right now. They're still your friend, but they just want to try to do it themselves, okay?
Okay. Yeah, sometimes they don't want help. That is true. So we have seen already in the videos that giving kids some time to reflect on what a friend is and supporting them to reflect on their interactions with the peers. I saw friends sharing toys and using kind words during center time. What was something you saw someone do to be a friend during centers? What happened today when Francis didn't have a chair to sit in at home living? So you let them think about what happened. Did somebody go find a chair? Did somebody recognize that Francis didn't have a chair? What did the other children do about it? So this one is really a wonderful little trick. And when you watch it, you don't know that the teachers actually only put 2 names in the box. So this is Peer Buddies, where the teachers actually intentionally put 2 children together to play. You'll see this one.
Todd, come see who your buddy is. Look in the door.
I wonder who it's gonna be. Who is it?
Pull it out. Who's it, Todd?
Look at the picture. Who is that?
How'd you know that? Todd, who's that? Hannah, come on up.
Hannah. It's Hannah.
Okay, you put Hannah's picture on, and Hannah puts Todd's picture on. Where do you guys want to play? Oh, gotta move that, don't I? Do you want to play housekeeping?
Yes.
Okay, read it together.
I want to play housekeeping.
Todd, read it. I want. I don't hear you. Want to play housekeeping. Okay, good job. Thank you.
Here, right up here. Up here, Todd. Up here. My brother needs another Dammy because he has another. Yeah, he has another hurt on his back. Right up here.
Maybe Todd can get the Band-Aids for you. Ask him for more.
Dad, can you get me a Band-Aid? Out here.
Go get a Band-Aid. On the table, Todd.
So that was just a short clip, but the one child had very strong friendship skills and the other child did not. So they intentionally put those children together. You wouldn't put the same children together all of the time. We don't, we want to foster lots of friendship skills, but that was an intentional way. They knew that would be a good fit and that, you know, you heard the teacher giving some specific things that she could ask Todd so that there were the interactions between them. Do you think that was a successful strategy and were both children involved? And what might you change?
I think it was a successful activity. I like how they purposefully paired those 2 children to have them interact with each other. I thought that was very thoughtful and very good idea to do. I would, as the teacher, I'll be a little bit more engaged with them to try to facilitate a little bit more sharing, a little bit more verbal interaction between the 2, things like that.
Good point. Yeah, because they might need that, especially if that's the first time they're playing together, right?
Yes.
I was just going to say that I thought the other child had either limited express language or maybe was a second language learner. I don't know, but there was less, you know, language there, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing. In some of these videos, I know the backstory more. I don't know this one, except that they only put the 2 names in the barn. But the kids really love, I do know, I've seen this technique used quite a bit, and the kids think it's completely random, and they're so excited that they got paired up with somebody, and they really think it's fun picking the picture out. You don't have to have verbal skills, you can see, and then they pick together where they want to go, what area, what center of the classroom. So it's kind of a nice technique if your teachers haven't used this before. So this one is the science and math activity. And it just shows how you teach these social emotional skills all day long. 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, social emotional skills were taught separately. So when teachers were designing their learning experience plans, they would design a time of day. I'll read a book about sharing and talk about sharing. But what we know is you need to embed these all day long. And so this teacher really thought about putting problem solving and turn taking into this activity. And there's so much of getting the kids involved and thinking about it. And what I just ask is look for what you see that's promoting the friendship skills while you watch.
How many are you? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have how many containers?
2.
So what can we do?
Share.
Oh, share. I love that. But how are we going to share?
We take turns, so that Liam, me, and me.
That could be a solution. What other solution can we have?
How about they two work what I need to?
Wonderful idea. I love it. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
Remember that we only need to check.
They can work with the container.
Okay. So you want the vase and you want the vase? So now we have another problem. How can we resolve that problem? Bob, I need one of you take this one and the other one is going to take this.
We can take the vase.
But you want the vase and she wants the vase. So how can we resolve that?
You can take turns.
Well, take turns, that means that I have to do it twice, but I'm not going to do it twice, because we can measure just one time how many cups of water are going to be here. So one of you take this one and the other one take this one. But how are we going to decide what group is going to work with this?
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
Do you want to do the eeny, miny, moe?
Yeah, Spanish.
Emily, do you think that would be fair? We do the eeny, miny, moe? Okay, I'm going to do it in the Spanish way. Tin, marín, de dos, tingüe, titirima, titirigüe, chino, marrano, hue. So they're going to get the base. Thank you for finding that solution, Stella. That was wonderful. And you're going to use this. Okay, now, who is going to start? Are you agreed that they start first? I love your idea because I think that's fair. You got the base and they can start. So what are we going to do? And how are you going to manage that? Because what are you going to do is you're going to put 1 cup of water and you have to pour it here and you're going to count. So how are you going to do that? So
I don't care. But I don't care if he goes.
Oh, so are you going to take turns putting water? Okay. But before we do that, we are going to make a prediction. Okay, Stella, so put 1 cup of water and you put it here. So we count. 1, now it's Liam's turn. I love the way you are passing and taking turns, following our Jesus rule. That's awesome. Being good friends. 5. Okay, so let's go give it a try. I hold it here. So let's go count 1. Now it's with wisdom. You can see, let's go move a little bit. So group A, so that means Stella and Liam. The prediction was 4. but they have 9 cups on that container. Emily? So your prediction was correct or incorrect? Incorrect. Okay, so we have 9. Now the group B, Whitney and Emily, your prediction was 6, and you put 4.5. Okay, so prediction was correct or incorrect? Okay.
Okay, so you saw so many things going on in that 4-minute video. The teacher, I mean, was it really a science and math activity, or was it really a lesson in sharing and taking turns?
It was all of the above. It was all of it.
Yeah, I think that's just such a good example of how all day long we're teaching, right? We're teaching them. What did you see that encouraged the friendship skills?
Well, she kept posing the problem, right? And saying, okay, this is the challenge. How do we solve that? And I think asking the question helps guide them, obviously, and helps them think about solutions, helps them see that there are other ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. And is it fair? She asked that. Is that fair? Are you okay with that? You know, that's part of it. We have to make sure everybody's okay with it. And they came up with a couple of solutions, but she said, no, that won't work, because she wanted them to really figure out how to share and take turns. And did you see them acting like friends? Was there anything you saw that showed you that they liked working together? Did you see the boy and the girl put their arms around each other, and the other pair of girls were like, you know, kind of excited and saying, no, we got the wrong prediction, but you know, they looked at each other, and we don't know if those pairs ever worked together before. They might have just intentionally put the pairs together to get them to have that bonding experience, right?
And I liked how they were like, I don't care if she goes first. I don't care if he goes first. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah, it's like they were kind of getting excited about the whole sharing thing. At first, they really wanted the vase. You could see she kept grabbing it and holding on to it. And then by the time they got to that, she can go first. No, he can go first. That was really good. So I think you all work directly with teachers. One thing I try to do is be really concrete so that teachers take, if they're watching this video, that they actually take a practice and think about how they're going to try it. So we looked at so many different ideas in the last hour, but which one are you going to try? Are you going to try a puppet show? Are you going to try something with the ice cream cones or something like that? Are you going to do something like we just saw with the science and math? The thing about that activity too, that comes up all day long because we don't have enough materials for everybody to have the materials. So we intentionally can plan these activities, and we want to teach all these skills when the kids aren't fighting about a toy, right? So then later in the day, if there's some favorite items, you can say, remember how we shared when we were pouring the water? You could do that too here. Or remember the puppet show we saw with the blocks? So you want to teach the skills when the kids are happy and calm, and then remind them when it comes to a tough situation. So you want the teachers to really be concrete. What are they going to try? Are they going to practice it with one child? Because we might design something just to do with one child, especially if they really need extra skills. The adult's gonna work one-on-one practicing sharing. Are we going to work with the whole group or a small group? When are we going to try it? Actually setting the time, the day, and then during which activity. And also they may have to say, these 2 children, I'm going to intentionally try it out with. So I highly encourage you when you work with teachers to have them come up with a plan like this. So the other thing is connecting with families, letting them know you're working on friendships. This is friendship scales, but friendship skills in your school, that this is a big part of what you're doing. And the backpack series I've mentioned before, there are a whole series of the backpack in green on these social skills. So this one is how to teach your child to appropriately get your attention. Often you'll hear adults say, they just want attention. You know, when they talk about kids with challenging behavior, there's no reason for their behavior. They're just trying to get attention. Well, yeah, that is a real need that children have. They want to get your attention. So, you know, parents will often say their children are driving them crazy because they just want their attention all the time, right? So this, if you can work with parents and say, try this at home, we're trying this at school. All of these backpacks are 1 page, and you can see the try at home, practice at school, and they're just very short, concise, and to the point about how to help your child appropriately get attention. And they have all those other friendship skills too. Take turns, share. So that's another resource that I will show you. Any questions about the backpack series or any of the other resources? No. So I'm going to just take you to challengingbehavior.org, and I'm going to stop the recording. So for anyone watching this later, go to challengingbehavior.org and you can find all of the resources that you would like.